Hello class, it's Professor Streeter, and in this video I'll look at the assignments for this week. I know it was a little confusing this week and I got the homework prompt out a little late, so I thought I'd go through and talk you through what we're doing this week. Okay, so first the announcement that I shared here, the homework 5 prompt is due this week. And the quiz on Thompson's essay on abortion, though, that's due next week. So there's 10 multiple choice questions about Judith Jarvis' famous essay, A Defense of Abortion. The homework, and since I gave it to you a little late, if you need more time, let me know. But the goal is to complete this by the end of the week so that you can focus on the draft of your essay for next week. But here's the assignment. I've included it here in the announcement. It's also in the week 11 content module. The goal here is to show me that you have developed a specific skill, right? And that you're getting better at that. Analyzing someone else's argument. So you get to choose one of these 3 articles from The Ethical Life. Read it carefully, take notes on the argument structure, and then find a claim in one of these essays that you think is interesting. So we have Thompson's essay, A Defense of Abortion. She wrote this in the 1970s before the Supreme Court came out with the Roe v. Wade decision that basically protected a woman's reproductive rights in this country. Very recently, the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. So we have returned as a country to the question of whether a woman's reproductive rights should or should not be restricted from a legal point of view, from a moral point of view. And so you could reflect on that question in the context of Thompson's original defense of a woman's right to choose in the 1970s. So that's one article. That's what you're focusing on for the quiz, but also you could analyze that article for homework 5. Or you could look at one of the 2 essays that we're reading this week from the Legacy of Racism section in The Ethical Life. Hausman is looking at good and bad arguments, he thinks, for and against affirmative action. These are policies that were in place giving companies and colleges the legal authority to use race as a factor in preferential hiring and admissions, to promote diversity in the workplace, to promote diversity on campus. Again, the Supreme Court recently overturned decisions that had made affirmative action legal, and so now colleges and companies are having to look at different ways of promoting diversity. So again, going back to Hausman's article from before this recent Supreme Court decision, looking at the arguments for and against these kinds of policies, this is a chance for you to explore a topic that is very much in the news today, because the Supreme Court has overturned both of these decisions. Okay. Or you could look at Elizabeth Anderson's interesting article in which she defends the idea that we have a moral imperative to proactively promote racial integration in our neighborhoods, in the workplace, in public life, and in private life. It's an interesting article. She does not think that formal desegregation is enough. We have achieved that. The civil rights movement of the 60s brought about a lot of legislation that made it illegal for companies, colleges, to segregate or discriminate on the basis of race, right? So we have achieved a great deal in this country. We have eliminated barriers to integration, but we are not an integrated society, right? In many ways, we remain a segregated society. And so Anderson is arguing that if we are interested in true democracy and if we are interested in equity, we have to do more to promote racial integration in our cities, in the workplace, and in other parts of society. Okay, so that's an interesting argument she makes. What your task would be is to choose one of these articles and find a central claim that you think is interesting, identify it in the text, quote it, paraphrase it, explain the claim in your own words, and then give some context for why, let's say, Hausman is making that claim about affirmative action, and why, okay, so give some context and explain the background for that claim, and then look at a decisive or a conclusive reason that you think Hausman is giving in support of that claim, and explain the context and the line of reasoning that he presents in defense of that claim. And then how does that line of reasoning support the claim that he's making? Right here you can come up with specific examples from the text or your own examples. Make sure to define your terms clearly. Make lots of distinctions in explaining how we get from the reasons that he gives to the claim that he's trying to make. Right? How do the reasons support, or how does that line of reasoning support the claim? And then finally, I would like to see you explain or assess why it is a good reason or why it's not a good reason for accepting the claim. Right? So that's the chance for you to, after you've analyzed, let's say, what Hausman says and how he supports it, that's a chance for you to assess that line of reasoning and see if you agree with it or not. Make sure that you're citing relevant passages from the text to support what you say. Okay? So that is the homework assignment due this week. If you need some more time, let me know. But again, it's a chance for you to show me that you've developed this skill of analyzing someone else's argument. Okay? And choose the article that you find most interesting, okay, that you have something to say about. Okay? So coming back then to this week's week 11, this is our topic, the legacy of racism. That is a picture of Elizabeth Anderson. And so you read an essay by her that is part of a longer book called The Imperative of Integration. And a lot of her work comes out of her, she's from Michigan, and she spent a lot of time in Detroit and thinking about the forms of racial segregation that she still sees in Detroit and other parts of Michigan. And from her point of view, segregation undermines the real possibility of democracy and equity. And so she's making an argument in defense of more proactive forms of integration. Okay, so Reed Anderson, maybe you can write about her for this homework assignment. I've also shared a lot of crash course philosophy videos on the different ethical theories that we've been looking at. If you click here, actually let me make sure I have it as the student view. Sorry. So if you click here, right, so next week, the goal is to turn in a draft of your essay. And part of the task in your essay is to draw on or appeal to one of the ethical theories or principles that we've looked at as a way of defending your point of view or defending your thesis or analyzing your question, working through your topic. So I've shared these videos. They give you kind of quick glimpses into, let's say, if you're interested in divine command theory, okay, here's a kind of quick glimpse into the issues that come up and what's involved in defending a divine command theory or criticizing it. If you're interested in going back and thinking about natural law theory as a way of developing the argument for your essay, here's a kind of quick way of refreshing yourself on that. And you could go back and read Schaefer-Landau or read Aquinas, but like these videos could help you get thinking about how you might apply the theory to your argument. Here we have one on Kant, the Kantian approach to ethics, the utilitarian approach. We talked about contractarianism. Next week we'll look at virtue theory, although we've already read some Aristotle. So these videos are short, and I hope they help you focus your energy on kind of which of the ethical theories is relevant to your topic, to your argument. So I really encourage you to look at those this week as you prepare to turn in the draft of your second essay. I have shared comments about your proposals. If you have questions about the proposal or what you should be doing with the draft, reach out to me. We can talk, or we can exchange emails. Okay, so there's the videos. The week 11 discussion is a little different from previous weeks. I just want you to raise a question of your own, a focused question about the readings from this week. So either Thompson on abortion or Hausman on affirmative action or Anderson on integration. Look at one of those texts and raise a question about it. And then begin to comment or provide an answer to your own question. Then I'd like, once you've thought about that, I'd like you to think about how your question and the comment or the answer that you give relates to issues of gender equity or relates to issues of racial equality. So draw some connection between your question and this issue, right? What have you been thinking this week about gender equity or racial equality? And how does it relate to something you saw in the readings and the question that you're raising? Okay, so I want you to explore that a little bit on your own. I'm not going to give you too much more guidance because I want you to come up with your own question. Okay, here, as you can see, is the prompt for homework 5 again. To submit it, you just click here. You'll go to the assignment folder. There it is. It's not a Turnitin folder. Actually, it's just a regular old assignment folder. You click upload, and you can drop your file in there. Okay. And then scrolling down, here's the quiz for Thompson. Again, 10 multiple choice questions on Thompson's essay, A Defense of Abortion. You have 30 minutes for that, 2 chances. If you, for some reason, don't have access to Anderson's The Future of Racial Integration, I've included the PDF file here, so that's an essay you could read. Maybe you want to write your essay about racial integration and think about Anderson's argument if you're still struggling to figure out what to do for your second essay. Okay. Well, that's all for now. I hope this was useful, and I'm happy to talk to you one-on-one. So set up a time to meet on Calendly if you're struggling with your essay or you're not sure what to do with this homework assignment, or if you have any questions at all, now's the time to reach out. Okay, hope you're doing well, and hope you have a happy rest of the week. I'll see you soon. Okay, bye.